Let's begin with a question. A simple but powerful question. Is it really possible to get whatever you want in life? Now, some folks might laugh. Some might say, come on, Jim, that's wishful thinking. But I say, absolutely, it is possible. But here's the catch. It's not guaranteed. It's possible, not automatic. You see, life doesn't hand you what you want. It hands you what you're willing to work for, what you're prepared to receive, and what you're disciplined enough to pursue. It starts with a belief that it's possible for you, not just for someone else, not just for the lucky few, but for you. Now, when I say whatever you want, I don't mean foolish things. I don't mean empty daydreams. I mean the meaningful things, the things that make life rich. A strong body, a sharp mind, a loving family, financial independence, freedom, peace of mind, fulfillment, contribution, the good life. I used to be a broke farm boy from Idaho, grew up with nothing fancy, wore secondhand shoes and drove beat-up cars. But then I met a mentor who asked me, Jim, why not you? That question shook me. Why not me? Why not now? And that's where it began. You want a better future? You've got to plant better seeds. And here's the truth. You don't get what you wish for. You get what you work for. Wishes are weak. Work is strong. Wishes are seeds in the wind. Work is planting in good soil with discipline and care. So how do you get whatever you want? It begins with a change in your mindset. You've got to move from, I hope life gets better, to, I will become better and life will respond. You've got to move from, if only I had, to, what can I build with what I already have? Life responds to skill, discipline, effort, attitude, and belief. And make no mistake, it's not about luck. Sure, some people get lucky, but luck is the result of preparation meeting opportunity. You don't wait for the right conditions. You prepare yourself, so when opportunity knocks, you're not still in your pajamas. I want you to think of this speech as the ignition, the spark. We're going to light a fire that you carry into every area of your life. You want better health? It's possible. You want more income? It's possible. You want deeper relationships, more impact, more joy? It's all possible. But here's the law. You must earn it. Here's what I discovered. You can have more because you can become more. But unless you change who you are, you'll always have what you've always had. See, your current income, your current habits, your current relationships, they're a reflection of your current thinking. To get what you want, you've got to change what you think. That's the starting point. Your life changes when you say, I've had enough of surviving. I'm ready to start thriving. I've had enough of excuses. I'm ready to take ownership. I've had enough of hoping. I'm ready to take action. This isn't about magic. This is about mindset. And once your mindset changes, everything around you changes. So the first rule of getting whatever you want is this: believe that it's possible and believe that you're capable. Because if you don't believe it, you won't act on it. And if you don't act, nothing changes. But once you believe, really believe, then you'll start asking better questions. You'll start reading better books. You'll start keeping better company. You'll start making better decisions. You'll start demanding more from yourself. That's how the shift begins. That's how the momentum builds. And that's how the extraordinary becomes possible. Now that you've begun to believe that getting what you want is possible, the next step is absolutely critical. You've got to know exactly what it is you want. Clarity is the beginning of all progress. Without it, you're just wandering. And let me tell you, nobody ever drifted their way to greatness. Success is never accidental, it's intentional, it's deliberate. It's the result of clearly defined goals pursued with discipline. You see, most people don't get what they want simply because they never decide what they want. They wish for a better life, but they never define it. They wish for more money, but they don't know how much. They want freedom, but they don't know what that freedom looks like on a Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. Let me ask you this. If I said I could grant you one wish, but you had to be specific, could you tell me what you want without hesitation? Because here's the truth, you can't hit a target you can't see. And you can't see a target you haven't set. The wealthy, the fulfilled, the joyful, they all have one thing in common: clarity. They know what matters, they know what they're after, and they make decisions that align with that vision. So, here's what I tell my audience. Take the time to think it through. What kind of life do you want to build? What kind of person do you want to become? Be specific. Vague goals produce vague results. Don't say, I want to be healthy. Say, I want to weigh 170 pounds and run a 5K by August. Don't say, I want to make more money. Say, I want to earn $120,000 per year doing work I love by the end of next year. Don't say, I want to travel. Say, I want to take my family to Italy for 2 weeks next summer with cash. You see the difference? Clarity creates direction. Direction creates focus, and focus creates power. Now here's a simple exercise I've given thousands of people, and it works wonders. Take out a sheet of paper. At the top, write, what do I want? Then give yourself 30 minutes. No distractions, no phone, just you and the question. Write down everything that comes to mind. Don't judge it, don't filter it, just let it flow. Want to make $1 million? Write it down. Want to retire your parents? Write it down. Want to own your own business? Lose 20 pounds, build a dream house, speak on stages, change lives? Write it down. Because when you write it, you begin to own it. It moves from your imagination to paper. And from paper, it can become a plan. One of the reasons most people don't achieve much is because they don't aim high enough. They're scared to declare what they really want. They worry about what people will think. Let me tell you something, it's none of their business. Your dream is your business. Don't shrink your vision to fit other people's opinions. Expand your vision to fit your potential. When I first started my journey, my mentor asked me, Jim, what do you really want? And I said, I don't know. He looked me dead in the eye and said, that's your problem. See, you can't build a better life with blurry vision. You need a crystal clear picture of the life you want. Here's another thing about clarity. It gives you power over distraction. When you're clear about your mission, you don't get pulled off track by every little thing. You say no more easily. You focus more deeply. You endure more consistently. Why? Because your vision pulls you forward. Think of it like this. Clarity is your compass. It keeps you moving in the right direction, even when the terrain gets rough. But it's not enough to just know what you want. You've got to see it, feel it, and revisit it daily. Write your goals every morning. Read them every night. Remind yourself constantly, this is where I'm going, this is who I'm becoming, and every decision you make should answer one question. Does this move me closer to the life I've decided to build? If yes, go. If no, stop. That's the power of clarity. So, to get whatever you want, you must know exactly what it is. In the next part, we'll talk about the price of desire, daily discipline and action. Because once you know what you want, the question becomes, what am I willing to do to get it? So you've made the decision. You've got clarity. You know what you want. Now comes the real test. Are you willing to pay the price? Let me tell you something I learned early on. Success is never free. You don't get what you want, you get what you're willing to work for. You get what you're willing to trade your time, effort, energy, and discipline for. Desire opens the door, but discipline walks you through it. Everybody wants something, but not everyone wants it bad enough to do what it takes, day in and day out, even when it's hard, even when no one's watching. That's why discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. It's the price tag attached to every dream. Now here's a principle I've taught for years. If you want life to change, you've got to change. If you want things to get better, you've got to get better. If you want to have more, you've got to become more, and the only way you become more is through discipline, the daily practice of doing what must be done, whether you feel like it or not. You can't hit the gym once and expect a new body. You can't eat one salad and expect health. You can't read one book and expect wisdom. You can't make one phone call and expect a business. It's the little things done consistently that create the big results. The key word there is consistently. Consistency is the compound interest of self-improvement. Small disciplines practiced daily become habits. Habits become routines. Routines become lifestyles. And lifestyles shape destinies. Let me tell you what changed my life. It wasn't a big, dramatic moment. It was a few small decisions I made daily. I started reading 30 minutes a day. I started writing down my goals every morning. I started saving 10% of every dollar I made. I started exercising for 20 minutes a day. Not dramatic, not glamorous. But over time, those small disciplines changed everything. That's the secret most people don't want to hear. Success is not built in a day. It's built every day. Now let's talk about discipline's best friend, action. Knowing what to do is not enough. You've got to do it. You don't need more motivation. You need more movement. When you act, you build momentum. When you move, you learn. And every time you take action, even imperfect action, you get closer to your goal. People say, "Jim, what if I fail?" I say, "What if you don't try?" Failure is part of the path, but you know what's worse than failure? Regret. Regret is looking back on your life and knowing you could have, should have, but didn't. Discipline and action protect you from that. You've got to wake up each day and ask, what's the one thing I can do today that will move me closer to what I want? Then do it. No excuses, no delay. Just do it. And listen, don't wait for motivation to strike. Motivation is a spark. Discipline is the fire. Build the fire. Motivation is for beginners. Discipline is for professionals. Now, let me give you a tool, the power of a schedule. If it's not scheduled, it doesn't happen. If you want to write a book, block out the time. If you want to work out, put it in the calendar. If you want to grow a business, carve out time for outreach, study, and strategy. Discipline is simply honoring the commitments you've made to yourself, especially when it's not convenient, and that's how you build trust with yourself. Every time you say you'll do something and follow through, your confidence grows. You say, "If I say it, I do it." That's a powerful identity to live by. Let me leave you with this. Every dream has a price. Every goal requires effort. But the cost of discipline is far less than the cost of regret. Discipline weighs ounces. Regret weighs tons. So if you want to get whatever you want, pay the price. Show up. Put in the work. Keep the promises you make to yourself. Take the steps, even when they're small, especially when they're small, because that's how dreams come true. One small, consistent, disciplined action at a time. Let me share a principle that absolutely changed my life, and it will change yours too. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you hang around with winners, you'll start to win. If you surround yourself with thinkers, you'll start thinking better. If you walk with the wise, you'll become wise. But if you hang around with complainers, guess what? You'll start complaining. If you surround yourself with doubters, you'll start doubting. If you spend your time with people going nowhere, you'll go nowhere too. Your associations matter. They shape your beliefs. They influence your habits. They determine your standards. Now, when I first heard that idea, it hit me hard. I looked around and realized I was spending time with people who weren't going anywhere. People who were always broke, always negative, always blaming someone else. And I realized, no wonder I was stuck. So I made a bold decision. I started choosing my circle on purpose. I didn't abandon people. But I started limiting my time with those who drained me. And I increased my time with people who challenged me, stretched me, inspired me. I started seeking mentors, listening to wise voices, reading books by achievers, attending seminars. And let me tell you, everything began to shift. Here's a rule to remember. Don't just hang around people who accept your excuses. Hang around people who expose your potential. You need people in your life who see greatness in you, even when you don't see it yourself. People who call you up, not pull you down. If you're always the smartest one in the room, find a new room. Growth happens when you're stretched, not when you're comfortable. Now, let's get practical. Ask yourself, who am I spending the most time with? Are they helping me grow, or are they holding me back? Do they encourage my discipline or distract me from it? Do they talk about ideas or gossip about people? Do they celebrate my progress or feel threatened by it? It's not judgment, it's awareness, because your future is tied to your associations. I often say birds of a feather flock together. But here's the twist. Eagles don't flock. You find them one at a time. So if you want to soar, you've got to rise above the average. You've got to be intentional. Now maybe you say, Jim, I don't know any successful people. Well then read their books, watch their interviews, listen to their audio programs. Learn from a distance until you can connect in person. That's how I started. I used to listen to Earl Schoaf on audio cassette, over and over. He became a mentor from afar. His ideas got into my mind, his wisdom challenged my thinking, and over time I grew. So don't underestimate the power of virtual association. The goal is to flood your mind with excellence daily. Also, be the kind of person others want to associate with. People of excellence are attracted to excellence, so show up with integrity. Be someone others can count on. Keep your word. Be a learner. Be positive. Be disciplined. Be valuable. You'll attract what you become. And one more thing. Don't keep toxic people on the payroll of your life. If someone constantly tears you down, mocks your dreams, or fills your head with fear, you've got to make a decision. You don't need to hate them. Just don't give them influence. Protect your energy. Guard your gate. Remember, every relationship is either a ladder or a chain. It's either lifting you up or holding you back. Choose wisely. Let me leave you with this. Your dream needs the right environment to grow. Like a seed needs good soil, your goals need good company. Surround yourself with those who believe in you, push you, challenge you, and celebrate your growth. You'll rise faster, go farther, and feel more fulfilled. If you want to get whatever you want, don't do it alone. Do it with a winning team. Now, friends, we've talked about setting goals. We've talked about discipline. We've talked about changing your mindset and surrounding yourself with the right people. But let me tell you, there's one final ingredient you absolutely need if you want to get whatever you want out of life. It's what I call the triumvirate of achievement: faith, vision, and perseverance. Let's start with vision. Everything starts with a picture in your mind. Your imagination is the preview of life's coming attractions. If you can see it in your mind, you can move toward it in your life. Now, most people live life looking through the rearview mirror. They're driving forward while staring at the past. That's dangerous. That's how you crash. You've got to lift your eyes and look out the windshield of possibility. Paint a picture of what you want in vivid color. Feel it, smell it, see it. That's what vision does. It makes the future feel real before it happens. I remember when I was broke and struggling, living in a small apartment with pennies to my name. But in my mind, I had a clear picture. I saw myself speaking to audiences. I saw myself traveling the world. I saw the lifestyle, the contribution, the fulfillment, and that vision pulled me forward. So here's the principle. Your life moves in the direction of your dominant vision. Now faith, what is it? Faith is belief in what you can't yet see. It's trusting that if you do the work, plant the seeds, stay the course, the harvest will come. Faith is what keeps you going when the results haven't shown up yet. Faith is knowing that just because the road is tough doesn't mean the dream is wrong. Without faith, people quit too soon. They try for a week, a month, maybe a year, and when they don't see fruit, they give up. But the farmer doesn't give up when the seed doesn't sprout overnight. He knows nature's law. He knows there's a process. He trusts the system. That's what faith is, trusting the process. When I first started building my business, some days were discouraging. I gave speeches to small crowds. I heard more no's than yeses, but I had faith. I kept showing up, and eventually the breakthrough came. Now let's talk about perseverance. This is the glue that holds it all together. Perseverance means you don't quit when it gets hard. You don't run at the first sign of resistance. You keep moving, tired or not, motivated or not, encouraged or not. You know, everyone wants success, but most aren't willing to do what success demands for long enough. It's easy to be excited on day one, but can you stay committed on day 101? That's where the magic is, in consistency. I tell people, don't major in short bursts, major in long hauls. See, your dream will be tested, the delays will come, the doubts will creep in. But that's not the time to fold, and that's the time to fight. That's the time to press on. Perseverance is not about speed, it's about direction. Some days you'll run, some days you'll crawl, but if you don't stop, you'll win. Now, don't confuse perseverance with stubbornness. Stubbornness keeps doing the same thing that isn't working. Perseverance adapts, learns, adjusts, but never gives up. Thomas Edison said, "Many of life's failures are people who didn't realize how close they were to success when they gave up. So don't you dare quit 5 minutes before the miracle." Let's review. Vision gives you clarity. You know where you're going. Faith gives you confidence. You trust the process. Perseverance gives you power. You keep showing up. Put all three together and you become unstoppable. Let me close with this. You can have whatever you want, not because life owes you, but because you're willing to earn it. Dream big, act daily, grow consistently, and believe deeply. Keep your vision sharp, your faith strong, and your feet moving. And one day, you'll look back and say, "I did it. I made it happen." That's the promise of personal development. That's the reward of becoming more. So go out there and get whatever you want.